just a mishmash for the PDP. Can the PDP ever recover? Is it done as the opposition party? Is Labour going to supplant it as the bona fide opposition in Nigeria? Because the internal crisis rocking the PDP, can the party survive?
Well, unfortunately for IU, he has not been able to manage the affairs of the party well, because there's an adage that says prostrating for the dwarf does not bring you to his level. So instead, IU should have known better and aligned with the G5 one way or the other. Yes, they don't want you to be chairman of the party, but now that you're chairman, you should have just extend your hands of fellowship and look for a way to bring them on board.
Yes.
The effect of IU's actions now is testament to their loss at the presidential elections, and it is a loss of setback for the PDP, considering the fact that even their presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, contested for the 4th time in his career. So it's a major loss for the PDP, and I doubt they can come back from this.
Interesting. It is rather unfortunate that the PDP wasn't able to get its house in order, but as much as I think IU is to blame, I think Atiku too had a lot of blame, because I think Atiku could have navigated detent among the warring factions within that party as the presidential flag bearer and the one having the most to lose. And you can see that it was internal crisis of the PDP that ended up causing them the loss. The G5 were against them, APC were against them, Labour were against them, NNPP. And if you look at those three, Labour, NNPP and the G5, if all of them had come together, in all likelihood, the PDP may have prevailed in this election. So it's really sad that they weren't able to get their house in order. And who knows, the Labour may supplant them as the main opposition party in Nigeria, in which case the PDP only has itself to blame. Okay, Yetunde, let's go to the next one.
Osun State governorship verdict. Appeal court reinstates Adeleke as governor. Oyetola heads to Supreme Court. The Court of Appeal, sitting in Abuja, in an unanimous decision, overturned the earlier ruling of the election tribunal that nullified the outcome of the July governorship polls. The three-man panel of the appeal courts declared Adeleke as the winner of the election and revoked the tribunal's order, which directed that a certificate of return be withdrawn from Adeleke and issued to his predecessor and the APC candidate, Oyetola. Over to you, Dayo.
Lekon, how do you see the outcome of this Osun contest, which is not over and keeps changing day to day? Some people say, well, it's a 1-1 draw now, because obviously the tribunal gave it to Oyetola. Appellate court has now given it back to Adeleke. So now everything is riding on the Supreme Court. So it's 1-1 draw now, and then of course the Supreme Court is going to be the final arbiter. But how do you see the whole thing that led to the elections being contested when you look at the results of the presidential election? Because you know governorship did not hold in Osun, but the presidential, the National Assembly and the State House of Assembly. What can you read from the outcome of those elections in Osun State vis-a-vis this contest for the governorship?
Well, I would say that the PDP and Adeleke are on ground in Osun, because the result is evident in the presidential elections, even the State Assembly elections. It was really evident, and Adeleke had taken the bull by the horn, and he has drawn tremendously well in 100 days. I saw the press release of his the activities of his achievements in 100 days, and he has done pretty well. A new university to come to Ilesha. He had touched all sectors of governance in just 100 days. I think the people of Osun really want Adeleke to be governor.
Okay, let me ask this question then. It's a tricky question, but should the will of the people, what you're saying now is that the people at this point in time of Osun are inherently PDP right now. The people of Osun are loving PDP, they are voting PDP, they are embracing PDP in Osun as we speak. Should that will of the people dictate the Supreme Court's decision? Or should it strictly be about the technicalities of, oh, there was overvoting from beavers, there was a certificate forgery, there was this, there was that, there was what? So should the will of the people be respected, or should it be ignored in the adjudication by the Supreme Court?
Well, for me, I think the will of the people will be the icing on the cake for Adeleke, eventually, because the developments in Osun, even the Supreme Court is privy to it, and they are aware that over time this guy has been on ground. He had won an election that was upturned. Yes, he was in the Senate, and he had been the people's man all along. So I think it will help add to his victory at the Supreme Court.
So what Leko is saying, and there's a smidgen of truth to it, is that the judges are human beings too. The judges are Nigerians, and they live among us, and they are affected by all the issues that are going on around us. Does that surreptitiously swing their thinking or their objectivity? The fact that they are influenced by some of the things going on around us. So if they already know that the people of Osun want PDP, will they intentionally, even based on a technicality, go against the will of the people and give it to APC? Well, who knows? We'll see. I think they have 180 days or so to give a judgment. So fingers crossed. What matters most is that the Osun people get the best representation and someone who will better the quality of their lives. From what Leko is saying, Adeleke is doing very well now. I don't know what the people had to say about Oyetola's 4-year term. So we wish us all the very best. Yetunde, carry on, last one.
General Abacha's second in command, Oladipo Dia, passes on. Buhari, Tinubu, Jonathan, Obasanjo, Kalu, governors, condole with the family. All yours, Dio.
Well, interesting. This Dia story is sad. His passing on is sad. But what people remember him for is that he was the man who escaped death. Apparently, he was a General Abacha who was one of the most hated leaders of this country. And that's what I admire Dia for, is that in spite of the fact that he was second in command to the most hated leader, he is universally loved. How was he able to escape that tar of hatred that enveloped Abacha? I still don't understand it. I mean, they ruled the country together. Does he get the sympathy from the fact that Abacha turned on him and accused him of masterminding a phantom coup, locked him up and was going to kill him? And the only thing that helped him escape execution was the fact that Abacha died. So how did Dia manage to maintain and be loved, maintain universal acceptance and be loved by the people, despite the fact that he was the second in command of what was considered to be the most repressive regime in the history of Nigeria?
Well, I think General Dia, over the years, had the support of the people, despite that he was the second in command to the tyrant, General Sani Abacha, so to speak. And he, more like he was not a party to the annulment of the 1993 presidential elections, which would have brought in the late MKO Abiola to power. And over time, everything coupled together, I think it had worked for him. And since he was discharged by General Abdulsalami Abubakar, he had just gone silent, and he never participated even in politics. He was not looking like a greedy dictator come politician like some others. And I think he had worked for him really. He just went back to his home in Ogun State to return being a family man.
Okay, may General Dia's soul rest in perfect peace, an elder statesman to the very end, and we condole with his family and the country at large on his passing and pray for the repose of his soul. All right, well, that's it for another edition of What's Your Take, my good people. Thank you for being with us today. Once again, my name is Dayo Akintobi. It's been a great pleasure being with you today, and I look forward to you joining us again on our next edition. Have a wonderful day and a great week ahead.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it. Use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues. Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it. Use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Yes.
I was expecting the noise.
Noise.
The siren and everything.
Can't I have a break even for a few hours from this sirens and so on?
Now I see why you want to come back here now.
Yes. You can see this place is more friendly, isn't it, than Abuja?
Wow. So how much do you miss it when you're not here?
Well, very much so. That's why when I come, I keep my eyes very wide open, as if it was the first time I'm coming. This fruits bearing trees are growing very fast. Yes.
So you're counting the days now?
I am counting the days, not even the months.
what amazes me is that if you know him now, to me, is the same Buhari I knew, 1953. He's a good listener. He will accommodate you, listen to you, and he will never fight back.
If you are not hardworking, if you are not honest, if you are not dedicated to your duty, don't come near Mr. President Buhari. He has a very long face, but you have to catch up. He looks after the welfare of his staff, especially his close aides. He makes sure everything is well or is fine at home front, because he asks questions. That's how is everything going on? And whenever there's anything, he takes your problem as his own problem.
The ordinary people are his friends. And then Kaduna, you come and see them in his sitting room. They are not only in the sitting room, but they are on his dining table, eating with him.
There wasn't any day you go to Sultan Road #1 that you will not see people queuing, and that he will not attend to you.
When he goes to his farm, the Salah. So along with his children. So I'll have my own children, my own Salah dress.
When my mom passed away, we were going to hold a commendation service for my mother in Lagos, and I just sent her some cards. I sent one to his house in Kaduna. Lo and behold, on the day an SUV just drove into the premises of the hall, and I went to welcome whoever was in it. When they opened the door and I saw him, I was shocked. So you could make it? He laughed, and he stayed with us throughout that
longer time. I saw him as a forthright person, an incorruptible leader, and one that was ready to bring about discipline to our society.
He's a very self-effacing person, also very witty and humorous when he's comfortable in the environment he is. He can be surprisingly shy when he's not comfortable. He's amongst people who is not accustomed to being around, and he can live in his own skin and say very little. But when he's comfortable, he can be a pot of good humor.
I got to know him from about 1976, when he was the Minister for Petroleum. And I was working in the presidency. You know, he has this expectation of people to take their responsibility seriously. He gives you an assignment, he expects you to carry it out.
Mr. President.
President Buhari, you walk into his office, see him reading, let's say, a memo. You not even notice you are there. He puts in his 100% on that memo until after he reaches the end of what he's reading. He does not even know somebody is there standing.
We first met January 1953. Buhari, as a child, was quiet, humble, and reserved.
There's one thing I also learned, that you lost your father very early. How was that growing up?
Yes, well, it was a difficult time. I didn't know my father, so I was an orphan, which means I didn't enjoy the protection of a father. I didn't know my father. And I went into a boarding school for 9 years. 3 of the primary school and 6 secondary school. Yes, I miss my parents. But I was lucky. We were a generation of lucky people. Home training